Okay, it's fine. So, good morning, everybody. My name is Sasha Rajcic. I share this presentation with Francesca Ronchi, that all of you know her because she has been liaising with you in order to collect all the ideas for this workshop. And I must say she is the backbone of our workshop, so she's gratefully acknowledged. And I want to introduce briefly to you, very briefly, which are the main elements of MARINA projects, our consortium, and then later on I will introduce, again, very briefly, our activities today. So, MARINA project is a project that is founded by Horizon 2020 from the European Commission, in particular within the Science Freedom for Society framework. And we have many partners, about 14 from all Europe. And the aim of our project is named Marine Knowledge Sharing Platform for Federating Responsible Research and Innovation Communities, are several. And the main topic is related to resolving marine-related issues and societal challenges, applying responsible research and innovation principles, and in particular engaging stakeholders, as you are, in order to discuss several items and find solutions on themes that are related to marine maritime sectors. And we want also, with our activities, to provide informative policy advice through the responsible research and innovation process. So the end point of our activity is somehow policy making, but also to sustain all those communities which are acting within the RRI framework in order to improve and change the situation and make their voice heard. And through our activities, we want to strengthen this sort of systematic approach, and we want to sustain all RRI activities beyond the theme of marine issues. So marine issues is something like a key example that we define when we propose our project to show something tangible to the Commission. And what is RRI? So RRI is a new concept that has been proposed by the Commission in 2012, and it has several dimensions, and basically it refers to the engagement of all actors in order to make their voice heard. And in relation to the whole process of research and innovation. So most often we know that the researchers are doing their job without getting in touch with the society and without working for society values. And so we want to change somehow this approach and to let the research and innovation agenda be related to societal needs and challenges. And here you can see the 6 RRI dimensions that has been put forward by the commissions, that is public engagement, of course, gender equality, science education, open access and open science, ethics and governance. What we do, which is the approach, we have several kinds of stakeholders, and you are somehow representing this multitude of different stakeholders and societal actors. So here we have, for instance, business, people who is involved in business. We have scientists, researchers, we have people involved in education, and the industry, researchers and citizens, and the organizations. So we are somehow representing our society in our small room with about 35 people, and we relate, we engage with society in order to discuss together some marine issues and find identify problems and solutions. And in our case, for instance, today we're dealing with tourism in coastal areas, and we reflect in particular, but not essentially, all the pressures that are exerted by humans through tourism and that can affect the environmental cities. What is MARINA doing? We have several activities that are running, and this includes, for instance, organization of learning workshops. This is our case, for instance, this is an MML workshop, as we define it. And it's linked really to direct engage in society, and we already established 14 national MML workshops, so that was included the topic of sustainable tourism, and we mobilized about 1,000 people through this participatory process so far. And this is carried out both at national and international levels. So today it's an international MML workshop. And through this work, we aim to achieve several objectives. One of these objectives is related to provide some guidelines and good practice for RRI implementation. So we learn from our activities, but also we learn from studying the previous projects that has been carried out in the European community relating to RRI principles. And we try to benefit from this experience in order to provide guidelines that will be shared also with the participants, but also at the policy level. To this end, we work using the MARINA knowledge sharing platform. That is a means that we are developing in order to facilitate the collaboration between citizens and all societal actors together in order to reflect, discuss issues related to the marine domain together, and also to work in further improvement of the outcomes of the national MML. And also, of course, we take care about dissemination through different means. This implies, for instance, to go to international meetings to promote our work, but also we have also some traveling exhibitions that are going to be finalized soon and that will travel throughout Europe. And coming back to our meeting today, we decided to focus this year for the international meetings on sustainable tourism. We have planned 4 different meetings that relate to sustainable tourism, but trying to relate this to some specific themes. So we have here our meeting in relation to sea pressure and environmental status. The next one on the 11th of May will be on Borossumet, on the relation between sustainable tourism and sustainable seafood. And a further will be carried out in Copenhagen on 20th May. That will relate to sustainable tourism, the planning of the uses of the and urbanization of coastal areas. And the last one will be in September in Dublin, where we will take the relationship with the sustainable energy sources. So, what are we going to do with the output of the work of today and the other meetings? There are many different uses. One would be to build our best practices and lesson learned guidelines. So in order to support somehow the development of this approach and the spread of this approach. The other would be to feed into the knowledge sharing platform. That would be a means to transfer the information that we are gathering at this level. The third one would be again to use this for dissemination, so we will present the outcomes of our activities on different international meetings like the Maritime Day, for instance, that we have in May this year, and possibly also to the UN Sustainable Development Goal 14 meeting that we have in June. And of course, we are not restricting our work to, let's say, disseminating and engaging citizens, but also we want to engage with the policy making level. So we are planning to engage with DGMAR, for instance, and the environment to share the results and the outcomes of the roadmap that will be developed here. So somehow we have enough responsibility that we are giving to you in this meeting, because the outcomes will be used to engage at the high policy level. Oh, sorry. The last one. Could you go back, sorry, to the presentation? Okay. So let's go to thank you. So thanks all of you who came here. We know that it was a big effort for you to put all the ideas and to share them. I know that this is not an usual process when you go to a meeting. Usually you go there, possibly you deliver a talk, or you listen, but you are not engaged in providing ideas that all the others can see. So I understand the reason for that. And we thank also all the people who asked to participate here to the meeting. We are obliged to restrict the participation, so my apologies for that. Of course, we had to make some choices, and the choices were lead in particular on having a balanced composition of this group, so apologies for them. And I also thank all the people from Europe that is following this meeting through the streaming. Their participation is gratefully appreciated. And further, to conclude my thanks, I wish to thanks for the Fondazione Enrico Mattei because they are really our guests. I mean, we are here for free. They provided this room for us, and this help is very appreciated. And they were very helpful in all the practical organization also here of the work. So thanks a lot for them. Two special thanks to Marcella Sbavaglia. She's not here. She's downstairs, and she was really instrumental to finding all the solutions to have the catering today, the coffee break and the lunch. Without that work, we wouldn't have that. And Elena Giuseppe was instrumental for us also for allowing several participants to come here, also to select the delegates. And all these 13, I already mentioned Francesca, our backbone, so I don't have to remember this. You will see there is a lot of people here working for the organization. We have CNTI who will take care about the facilitation, so there will be the most important people here, Yanis and her team over there, and his team over there. The CNI was taking care also of the civil, but he's leading our consortium, so the National Research Council of Rome, and you can see our project coordinator there, and then Albert that is also helping for us with the communication studies. Many partners contributed to the organization and to conceive these activities. You can see over there all these people, so I suggest you if you want some more information on the projects to relate it to us to other people who is here. And I wish a fruitful watch. Thanks a lot. I think it works, yes. Is it working? I think so. I was supposed to say a few things about the methodology before we make it short because we are running a bit late. Okay? So I don't know how to introduce talking about the methodology, but I think we are all aware that we are living in very difficult times where everybody talks to themselves, and there is no good way to bring the thoughts together so that we build something more functional to make a change in whatever system we are working. It doesn't matter if we are working in the big system to support our civilization, possible death, because we see so many bad things happening around us, or projects like MARINA to save marine life, or in our neighborhoods, or even in our family. Because every person has a different opinion, and that's a fact, and that's okay, and that's fair. The question is how can we combine the ideas of many people in a civilized way, in a democratic way, so that we can listen to all the ideas, make judgments carefully, and reach some consensus. So this is why we need a new science of dialogue. If we go back in the early days of the ancient Greeks, dialogue means two people talk. And dialectic is also a little bit like two arguments, two people talking. We never developed a methodology for three people talking. In everything, it's only two people talking. And we see that on television, when you put three people talking, even the very basic is violated. They speak at the same time. Not to mention that if you speak, you cannot listen. So this is not easy. It sounds like easy, but it's not easy. And we are in the beginning in developing the science of dialogue. What we will do today is one of the first experiments of science of dialogue. And it's about 40 years ago. It's not our development. We are continuing the work of others. It goes in phases. In order to sort, to organize the thoughts, you have to go in phases. That's what this science of dialogue says, which we are following. The first phase, even before you begin, you have to agree what is your subject. It sounds primitive.
But you know what happens. People gather to discuss one thing and they discuss something else. Now here, we cannot discuss something else. We have a triggering question. The triggering question is what policy, social, cultural, economic, technological, legal, and environmental actions, so all of those are included, what of those are needed for the tourism sector to be environmentally sustainable? Why do we need a question? We need a question to be able to focus on our subject. So if somebody wants to talk about something else that is not an answer to this question, this gives me the power to say, oh, it's not the subject. So we will stay only on this question. Now, staying on this question means that on the first round, on the first step of the process, we collect ideas, answers to this question. Usually we do it in the room. Now we are doing what we say a hybrid method. So some of it asynchronously at different times. You submitted on the MARINA platform your ideas. As a single statement, some of you put a clarification, and only 2 or 3 of you put the video. The idea of combining synchronous and asynchronous is in order to reduce time, because time to bring all the people in the same room is expensive. So if we can do some work asynchronously, it reduces the cost. That's the idea. However, asynchronously, it's not the same efficiency. It's different to be all in one room than everyone different time. However, in the work we need, it's impossible to bring more people all the time in one room. So we have collected the ideas. When we collect the ideas in the room or asynchronously, there is not much possibility for stopping somebody. It's not allowed to stop. So every person submits an idea. It has an advantage when you are in the same room, because only one person speaks and the other are listening. So by the time we finish that 1 hour of collecting the ideas, everybody has listened to all the ideas. Now we have an answer. So it's bad, because I don't know if you have studied the idea. Actually, I know you did. Because technology can know if you did or not. And actually, for future technology, we will know how many seconds you watch one idea. So we will be able to build that. However, the next step is that we go around and we explain the idea. And in order to make it more formal, more precise, I will ask you to come here and explain it to the team in 1 minute. So if you have like 1 minute to explain your idea, I want you to start by saying the idea. Say, for example, action number 1, raise awareness on existing legislation. So when Natalie comes here, I want you to say, action number 1, raise awareness on existing legislation, and then explain it in 1 minute. We will do this for 1 hour, 1.5 hours, how much it takes. This is a very important step, because every one of you has only 1 or 2 ideas. But now, after we finish this, you will have 42 ideas. So it's a big enrichment. And that's only the beginning, because the next phases are even more important. Because we will go deeper into the idea. But for the benefit of time, I will explain to you the next phases when the time comes. So I suggest that now we begin. So Natalie, are you ready? Okay, you come here. Give me a second to be able to record you. Come a little bit there. Okay. Closer. Okay.
So good morning first. Our first suggested action plan is to raise awareness on existing legislation. Explanation. We've noticed that there is a lack of knowledge and awareness on existing legislation on the various stakeholders of the tourism industry. This means that specifically we will encourage the various stakeholders, the industry, citizens, to make informed choices when they take actions and have specific behaviors within the tourism industry, and also to participate in the various consultation process at the EU and national levels.
Do you have any questions for her? Do you understand what she's saying? You are allowed to ask any questions, clarifications on it. Seems that you understood everything. Sounds good. So you are allowed to ask one question or two questions, but only clarification. So the next question is Martina.
Okay?
Yes.
Okay. So, educate stakeholders, policymakers, researchers, enterprise, entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs, workers, citizens, tourists on civic duty and sustainability in a wider ideas of economic, social, and environmental, rather than on own private benefits. The basic idea is that all different stakeholders, so I specifically mentioned both entrepreneurs and also entrepreneurs, so people working within organizations with high duties and high activities in driving them, to consider before and private economic benefits, the benefits of civil society, so the benefits of all the other peoples before and the economical ones. This is the basic concept behind this sentence.
You are allowed to ask questions. Anybody? Are you sure it's clear? I will tell you something now about the methodology. It's very fun, but now I think everything is clear. In about 1 hour from now, we are going to be asking again. I understand that actually no problem.
I believe that the educate stakeholders is a quite a larger idea. It should be more specific. Government doesn't mean educate. Education takes 20 years.
Okay. Allow me, because I also want to explain you the methodology. In this phase, we are not allowed to make judgments. So we make judgments. However, the clever thing to do is to ask your question without making judgment. I mean, you almost did it in the sense that at the beginning he started making judgment, but then he said, "I can explain how you do it." So that's okay. That's allowed. Okay. So we should avoid making judgment, because we say the theory is if you make preliminary judgment before you listen carefully to an idea, you might kill the idea before even develop. And that's not good. But it's asking, I mean, you say education is a pretty thing, so how do you envision it? So,
Absolutely, yes, it's absolutely, and it's right, because education is very wide, so the idea is to train stakeholders to change their point of view when they consider specific aspects on this topic, and maybe change, I would say, priorities in considering different aspects of activity related to tourism.
okay, are you happy? I mean, are you happy? Last job. She clarified what she means. You disagree? Okay, thank you. Francesca. Yes, you can start. Elaine, please. please say action number 3.
Number one, action number 3, increase the controls to avoid illegal practices and tourist settings on the coast, and referring in particular to discharge of wastewater in the sea. What I meant here is that in many locations around Europe, there are illegal settings, illegal tourist settings, so there's a big problem of controlling those discharges into the sea because of this creating quite big environmental problems, especially in the coastal waters.
Clear questions? So, Sarah?
Hi, everyone. Action number 4 concerns the promotion of RRI processes able to introduce innovation in the shipbuilding industry to reduce impacts of sea transportation related to the tourism sector. And our idea was to introduce some ideas related to the introduction of improper products and practices. Since currently we have a lot of products, chemical products, for example, in the industry, which is impacting waters, coastal waters, the discharge of particular kind of pollutants, which have important consequences on environment and the systems. This is very important since one of the most relevant pressures, significant pressures in the framework of the directive is the chemical, the pressures of chemical stagnant waters. And we currently find that some waters are, coastal waters in the north of the Adriatic are seriously affected by these kind of pressures.
Any questions for her? Yes? Everything appears clear for now? Okay. Enrique?
Good morning. Action number 5, visually monitoring tourism impact. In our opinion, between sustainable tourism and in order to make possible to adopt strategies with a long-term vision and also to make tourism more sustainable, it's important to measure and to monitor on a regular basis tourism impact. Of course, on economic point of view, and social, cultural point of view, and also in terms of environmental. So, what are the impacts posed and brought by tourism on the environment, on natural resources, and also on the sea, on the coastal areas. So there are for destinations and also for tourist companies several certification programs or reporting systems that destinations on the one hand and tourist companies on the other hand can adopt in order to measure their impact and to understand if their impact, if their development are sustainable.
Questions? Nobody? Okay, next one, Elena. But Elena has one problem. I don't find it. yes. The idea is there, but the idea is not there. The idea is there.
Hi everybody. My idea is to improve the participation of the stakeholders to touristic planning. In my here in Venice, I am hoping to see different kinds of initiatives, and usually stakeholders are not every time are not included in the preparation of the law and the decision of the municipality. So this is my idea.
Yes? No obvious choice? Okay. Okay. What's your name? Okay. No. Ah, okay. That's idea number 7. Elena.
So, one idea it would be introduce incentives and reward missions in the touristic areas that actively sustain marine and coastal environment and environmental protection. I think that it's possible to incentive public bodies like municipality and also touristic operator with incentive missions like tax reduction or more funding in favor of municipality that introduce best practice to protect.
Questions? So, Leah, okay, next to my colleague.
So I propose an action establishment of a novel partnership between the private sector, public bodies, and volunteers so that in real life all voices are heard and citizens' requirements for the sustainable use of their environment can fit policy needs and vice versa. So what I think is probably necessary is to improve participation of citizens in decision making and probably also with legislation related. Because it is possible that citizens want to be involved in program of observation of the environment, like loss of gain of biodiversity. Could be also gain of biodiversity, or also introduction of dubious alien species can affect the sustainable use of the touristic coast. But still, it's not clear how the observation of citizens can be taken into account. It's probably this democratic dialogue to solve the problem. Thank you.
Questions, okay? Francesca has a
Yeah,
question.
how do you think you will implement or possible ideas to implement? How you would implement this?
Of course, it is very general, it's a proposal and it is very complex. So,
Maybe just one example.
well, for example, you want to create the citizen observatories on the so you go practically with the detailed programs of not control, monitoring or observing citizens and plan the construction of a new harbor or a touristic harbor start so to take into consideration citizens. I'm pretty sure they will be willing to go at this point.
So my suggestion is to use economic incentives for operators and tourists in order to make them understand that the marine resources belong to everyone and to them as well as, and if they are using them, abusing of them, they are stealing from somebody else. This is the basic idea. It's very difficult to implement, I know, but to get the change in the mindset about that the city belongs to everybody that needs it, because nobody will be really grateful for it.
We should be ready for people to ask you later.
Okay, you
How?
don't ask me how.
That's number 10.
Hello everybody, so action plan 10. The idea is building capacity in those involved in developing and implementing tourist strategies and plans to make them able to integrate and balance economic, environment, and social aspects. Because the idea here is that we are usually the people that should plan and manage the coastal areas and the sustainable tourism doesn't know how to do in a sustainable way. So we are talking about sustainable tourism, but usually we should plan and manage in a sustainable way the tourism. Don't know how to do it. So my proposal is to create this capacity.
Any question? Workshops?
Yeah, that's what you mean by training, making a training programs for
Of course.
officers.
Yeah.
No, in general. This is the moment in which the current statements. But these statements will be explained.
No, this is the moment that the statements are explained.
Okay.
So this is the moment to ask questions.
Okay.
Yes. But not judgment. You are allowed to ask her how many questions? Who do you want to train? You are allowed.
My question is around the fact that we learned this philosophical concepts. Which are the basics and wanting the explanations of the statement. In my opinion, there could be some conclusions. So, yeah, we're sharing. We are talking about.
So she's asking you how many are.
To be
Yes, it's okay. Well, the only thing that we're not allowed to say is that I don't like this idea. Or this idea.
This is the normal sense.
So the only thing that we're not allowed to say is that I don't like this idea or this idea is not proper. You're allowed to say this idea is bigger than how we propose. Yeah, so ask. Ask her if she does not.
To be more operational.
Yeah. So the idea here is to
promote capacity building process of training, but in a more innovative way, because it's not enough. And if you are talking about digital government or other local actors, it's not, you cannot just ask them to study what is sustainable tourism is. You have to involve them in very practical ways, so in very innovative training courses and this kind of stuff. And then we'll come to the next action plan. I don't know if this was practical enough or
Well, it's a quite wide.
yes, it's still wide because they are
statement because it includes both the economic aspects of strategies and also the social and cultural ones.
yeah, this is the point of
It's quite wide. I start saying just a small thing, but I think that everybody will speak about this word, which is sustainable. So the way in which you translate is sustainable can be different and can be put in place in different ways. So it is not only a word, it's a way of looking at the problem.
yes, exactly. So the idea here is that again. Behind the concept of sustainability, there is this idea of balancing economic, social, and environmental aspects. That has a different meaning in different places. So the idea is to give, first of all, the knowledge, the general knowledge, and then to put in practice with specific case studies. So what does it mean to be sustainable for Venice tourism, for instance? That can be very different from from Molfetta case studies or other case studies. So here the idea is that this capacity building, the capacity has to be built in general and then to go into specific aspects. So through case studies, analysis, and work on real studies. But then there is also the financial problem and so many others. So to become practical, you need to go through all the planning of these activities.
No, thank you very much. Last thing. It's about training. Because I deeply believe in the importance, in the essence of training. But I don't believe that training has to be different from the past or has to be different in the future. Because you can use different tools to implement the training, but it does not depend on the substance or the essence of people or actions. It depends on the way of looking at the problem or involving different subjects. So I mean a wider look to the topic. It is not the training in itself. The training is the democratic forum where you can share the best practice, you can share experiences, but the essence is in the tool, is in the way of looking at the problem, is in the wider perspective you can create. So involving different factors, some of them that in some cases you have to think why they're there, because you don't think immediately to those factors, but probably they are the ones that can enrich your research.
Yeah, I think we are saying the same answer. The knowledge is the basic, and then you have the needs. So the training, you have to train people starting from the knowledge, and then you have different tools. And today we are very lucky because we have a lot of innovative and involved tools. So this is the idea. So again, yes, the knowledge is something that everybody has to learn, but you can transmit it in different ways. In more practical ways, considering that you are most of the time working with professionals or people that have just a short time to devote to training.
So I have to ask everyone to speak very, very loudly in the microphone because we have other people singing and I can hear you very well. So please be very scratch. Sorry? Yes, this is always scratch. I don't know. It's not the scratch here normally. Yes. Maybe they have the most microphones. I don't know. Sorry. It's not perfect.
Let's try.
The utilization of gaseous fuels like liquid natural gas LPG for cruise and ship first, that is a very growing market for fuel, and the people don't know what is the benefit. Pollution is extremely dangerous also for the passengers. The fuel is growing exponentially all around the world. The information is extremely useful. Also for smaller boats, we are in Venice. Very few know the situation regarding the emission of all the ferry boats, taxi, and everything in this town. It's destroying not only business, but it's destroying the population and put the million of tourists every year in very dangerous situation. This is extremely important to take action because marine is extremely concerned. Consequently, I know the way I am the person that is requiring action, that the action is required. I remember that the scandal of diesel. Now the people know what is the problem of diesel fuel used on vehicles, and many towns around Europe is doing strong action. In few times, diesel vehicles are not allowed to run. Marine can use electric or diesel vehicles enabling much complex technologies, but the action is required now.
Yes, please. I was wondering if you can verify the actual operations and to do some practical things.
Yes, I have been experienced since 40 years, and one of the problems we have the availability of technical. The school, since we are young, when people talk like today, everybody talk about electric vehicles. But a lot of things that the implementation of new technology like that, in which way is managed in the field of the time. Because talking is very easy. When you want to paper and give like you introduce new technology. I was developed 20 years ago to take immediately compressed natural gas buses around the town. So first, you have to prepare the technique. And in any case, to switch from one kind of fuel to another. If many things go, safety first, the handling, the maintenance, and one aspect of very good thing, what happens when we don't use anymore that kind of paper boats, sheet, bath, and so on. And, I think it's a big issue. Europe is not going in the right direction. Many states in California, states might take 15 years that they will finally electric vehicles. They train also for, police, fire department, because accident happens every day. And who has to do action is not prepared. Too many. It's a complex field that requires many entities to action, but actually required now.
Did you experience more the absence of awareness in the need of changing these vehicles, or difficulties in terms of organizations? I mean, the greatest difficulty you found this change was in terms of giving the people the instruments to understand the value of the change, or some other problems? No.
People is enthusiastic. My experience when you explain, the people understand. Very easy. All the environments and all extremely traditional. You imagine you go in a workshop of mechanics and engineering people that have usually diesel buses. You arrive on town, they have no idea what it means natural gas. But you explain, you get a lot of friends. And you have to explain clearly. And it's a lot complex, it needs a long time. The problem can sorry, to be frank, I think you want one area where you change some stabilized situation, with a lot of interest. And traditionally, you want to protect some interest. Changes in the story of human story, I'm talking about that, but to explain, understand. Every quite easily is something big happens. So to one bar, for example, take new technologies, easy, right? Or many hundred thousand people in order to manage that technology. When you are finished, you have a lot of people that is ready to manage, for example, jet lag, change the way to travel. We're talking about you. Even before the jet liner was doing, actually, the bar changed. Second World War, people start to travel by air. But then in the field, there are a lot of technical people engineering that come from the bar. Now we require a change like that, but we don't have one. In which way we require that? And you change also the mentality of my amount of the field. Now it's necessary action from local government, central government, and rules. Rules that has been at the top. Because the problem of pollution is extremely serious. The number of opinion of that, for example, don't to you imagine these cars with the sun looking there, the cruising ship, burn asphalt. People don't know. Asphalt, you know. One of the problem of Concordia was that they sunk inside of the tank was asphalt. And they had to manage that. This works. And the guys are on the bridge. And when they are crossed here, the channel is not last. All the completion of eggs. It's not true. It's imagination of environment is number 30 as direction. Environment, because he is the quality of life for another way. Thank you. Please.
Is it 16? No. No, 16. Is it this one?
Yes, because they changed the place. That's because they have to change place.
Yes. Are you ready?
Yes. Hello, good morning. My idea is how to use European quality of the environment and added value captured through great marketing of Chinese tourism.
The kind
Yeah, this is my idea. Yes, also of quality of European environment appreciated by Chinese people.
European quality of environment is a attraction for Chinese tourism. For example, my friends come here, they said, oh, it's very pleasure to come here to take a look. So beautiful and so good environment, much better than in China.
China is a huge country, so the potential for Chinese tourism is enormous for a place like Venice, which is, limited dimensions. So this would have to include measures to control the impacts on the environment of increasing the number of tourists by a very significant amount.
Yeah, you're right. But we can't organize the super rich Chinese come here for this.
Yeah, I think here you can conquer the environment for Chinese. Chinese like to come here. Many, because now many we call the 3/4 linear line city. It's not a big city like in Beijing, Shanghai, Shenzhen, Guangzhou. Also the small city, China becomes little rich. Many people want to come here. Sorry, sure, Venice is the first place for our dreams, you know. Yeah, please.
Yes. I try to understand better your suggested action plan. I do not want to repeat or rephrase, but I just want to make sure I understood correctly. So for you, it is important for the Chinese tourists coming to Europe to grasp, understand how the European have certain standards to promote a sustainable tourism. I don't understand the action actually. If it's a reference to the attraction of the site, for instance, Venice is an attractive tourist destination for the Chinese. Is it because of its cultural position or touristic position, or is it due to the fact that Venice, as other European cities, have certain standards, best practices, or certain legislations to protect their environment?
I think both. First, Venice is the history cities, many centuries for European. Also, Venice for us is a dream. We know Marco Polo comes from here. Marco Polo built the Silk Road from here to China. And the first Western come to China, and from here, Sitiama, it's called in Chinese name, and the first Western come to China come from here first. So we have dreams about Venice. So we come here, we saw the environment of European of Venice is much better than in China. We should learn also from Venice. This is that we get our own education.
So it's clear enough. Next person is Andrea. Which idea is it? Is it working? Is it this your idea?
Yes. Brilliant idea. The idea is to develop, apply holistically integrated, long-term, wide-scale approaches to feed sound and consistent local-scale measures. It brings us to the planning and management issue, reinforcing what we are already doing, of course, through a multi-level, multi-governance approach that uses consistent ICZM, MSP approaches and principles and provisions. Time is, of course, important dimension. Long term is not, it's an important keyword there. And this brings us to the climate change adaptation concept and the need to consider in this holistic planning effort climate changes, especially if you work on coastal and maritime tourism. What else I want to underline? Yeah, well, when we speak about planning, holistic integrated planning, sometimes we are accused to want to draw things, initiatives, development, your growth, but this is not the case. In fact, this is the only way to do it in a sustainable way wide sense of sustainability. The last sentence I want to deliver here is the need for knowledge. We are scientists, and it's quite clear that this approach needs to be informed by knowledge, a lot of knowledge, conceptual approaches, knowledge of processes, and data tools. All the systems should feed this wide scale and local scale planning and management measures.
Yes, question?
Yeah, my question.
It should be open.
Yeah, my question is about your last point. So we've been talking, since a long time about how to bridge this gap between science and policy. So any specific suggestion here?
It's a long process. It's time. It's so it's gonna need some time. Much time to do that.
You can,
We can operate on this thing.
no, you can try to answer. If you want.
Yes.
1 minute.
1 minute now. No, it's a long process. A lot of mechanisms, processes needs to be adapted, changed from the funding to the capacity building issue to the cultural aspects. Researchers and decision makers are not used to work together as one. And so we have to continue working on this through several initiatives and this kind of workshops. Maybe it's too late.
Next one. Give me a second, find the agenda. Is it number 15? I think so.
Yes. I have two, so we just do one at a time.
Yes.
Okay. So the rising cruise ships are growing larger and larger, and the number of passengers and ships are increasing a lot, and the environmental impacts of this aren't really being controlled. And it's not just the environmental impacts that are the issue, it's just the total polarization between the objectives of the industry, which are increasingly aligned with politicians' response to allowing this to continue, whereas on the other hand, the scientific and technical guidelines setting the limits of what's possible seem to be ignored, and also the way that it encourages a certain kind of consumerism and demand for those holidays that aren't necessarily the best thing, neither for the passengers and nor for the people who work on the ships. And the air quality implications are significant, not just for the passengers that are in the immediate vicinity of the emissions, but obviously for the cities where the cruise ships stop. And from closely watching the cruise ship situation for Venice, it's already 5 years since the Costa Concordia disaster, and there really hasn't been any kind of reasoned political approach to trying to solve the problem in an objective, integrated, holistic way. And I just proposed the Venice issue with cruise ships as a way that's kind of emblematic of things that are happening throughout the world. The more that I followed the Venice situation, the more I realized that more and more places in the world have a strong resistance to this type of cruise ship business, and they're not being taken into consideration because of the overpowering economic interests of this type of tourism. And I don't know if I need to say any more.
Otherwise, like my people around the yeah. What would you expect from politics to do towards this topic? Because it's always easy, I think, to ask this big approach, political answer, political response. But actually, what do you like? So, what kind of answer? I would like the politicians to set up a room just like where we are right now. Again, the authority to decide representatives of the best available scientific and technical knowledge to be present, the managers of the cruise business to be present, the representatives of the civil society, the citizens groups, the environmentalists to be present, the cruise tourism board to be present, the politicians, the ministers should be here probably just to listen rather than to say anything at the beginning. And each of those set of interests and knowledge should describe what's the limits of what's possible. I don't know how to describe this without giving a specific Venetian example, but the moment they're talking about letting the cruise ships come through the canal, which is the industrial channel, rather than maybe to Magara, maybe doing more dredging. But nobody knows what the cruise business really wants, whether they will accept coming, through the open waters of the Lagoon of Venice compared with coming through this channel here. I mean, I've spoken to a few of them, and they've said they're not so keen on that, yet the government pushes for, some people in the government, of course, they're not all saying the same thing, are they? So, why are we potentially wasting time thinking of these solutions without, that's maybe the business solution, but what do the cruise ships want? What would the passengers think if they just they don't even see birds there because there aren't any salt marshes left? So it seems crazy to be, doing these costly impact assessments, etc., before having done a strategic review of the advantages and disadvantages of all the possible solutions. And it's using an enormous amount of resources for economic and intellectual on things that probably are evidently relevant.
Diplomatic process found at this time of the activities maybe more fruitful and better in the sense that I think that yes, politicians, politics, and even I value the discussions on the topic, but everything can also start from the private sector to put in place a sustainable economy, in the sense that as we are discussing about sustainable environment, in the same way we can speak about the economic which can become sustainable. And I'm sure that there is a generation of young people that is truly and very deeply interested in discussing and implementing this new way of looking at the economic process. So there is more room in this. So really, just to say that politics and politicians can make a contribution in the discussion. After the private sector, and also in a new way, the way in which to do or implement the economic process and itself. I think.
all the stakeholders discussing together about the solution. Exactly. I think my thing wrong and I think the thing is a subject that we have working with it.
Okay, next one. I think it's number 3.
So, the action is related to distinction between sustainable tourism and simple green walking actions. And this is an opportunity that should be given to tourists. The opportunity to choose which kind of products and service they want to buy. It is also an opportunity that managing authorities and institutions should take responsibly in order to protect their investments and to design their assets. And so I think this is the clear parameters that can underline which are the characteristics of environmentally sustainable tourism.
Question? So that, let's take the go. When I give you the microphone, don't turn it off. Leave it on. Because you don't have it on. Leave it on. Second, we are having a little bit of technical trouble with the screen and with my screen here because there are too many connections to the internet. So if you don't mind, those who don't use the internet right now, if you will turn the Wi-Fi off, it will make everything down easier. Because it's especially for those people working, it's a bit difficult because we are checking our email.
That's one question because we talk about sustainable sustainability, but we are going to be about yes, sustainable development, but people that are also coming in or they are focusing on environmental sustainability. And everything work together. It is work on making investment, maybe government sustainable. Cannot be advantage that other areas from the so we could communicate in an effective way and so we can use that investment.
Other questions? Any other questions? Okay.
Our proposal is to enhance the capacity of public-private related stakeholders for sustainable management of the social, financial, and business related to health and environmental assets. What we have here, I mean, the idea is to set up a efficient support system for public health stakeholders in order that they assess the effectiveness and the competitiveness and sustainability of the tourist destination in relation also to the cultural and environmental aspects in order to combine in a long-term perspective a sustainable exploitation of the tourist destination. Is it clear? One question? Right. Next one.
Good morning, my name is Paolo, and I think that we can say tourism is an economic activity from a point of view of those who offer. So we have to valorize the sustainability in order to make the tourism destination more attractive, more sexy. We have to make the sustainability attractive. So I think that this is possible using measuring, and scoring and awarding. No? So in a guide, the people are moving towards the blue flag for flagging the shores because they are sure that they will find clean shores. If we will be able to make some measurements and some indicators agreed by an independent organization, scoring it, this is more sustainable destination and this is more green destination than others, it will improve. And so the tourism sector will be, in some sense, moved towards to become more sustainable, and more sustainability is something which can be measured in a wide area. So the tourism destination will become more attractive, so the economic activity will be improved. So I think that in order to make it more sustainable, we should use these economic tools to build the tourism and economic activity. Thank you. Yes, but we have to decide if we want tourism or if we do not want tourism. If we want tourism, we should make, of course, inside these metrics for sustainability, there will be also the number, but there will be a number of other things. So the point is to put in competition different destinations with something which is more sustainable, something which is less sustainable. People will go towards the more sustainable. If we think that we have to close the tourism activity, of course, the point is not to make it more sustainable, to have less tourism. I do not believe that the question is how we should have less tourism in our area. This is not the question. The question was to make the tourism more sustainable. So the idea is that the more sustainable the people, the general people, the tourism will go in any case. The people will go more, not only in those places where the sustainability is measured positively. So in this way, every destination will try to be more sustainable, also managing the flux of tourism. Of course, the managing of the flux of tourism, according to the carrying capacity of each place, it is one of the indicators of sustainability. It's not only the only one, but I mean, we need to make the tourism more attractive. So also running the risk, the idea to have more people there instead of elsewhere, if the location is more sustainable than another one. So this is the only way in order to have tourism instead of sustainable tourism. No, but I mean,
My question is
all the one,
for the second part.
on the second part of the question, there are already some experience in Europe, which have made a number of indicators, and there is an association which name is predestination, which already measured on the basis of several projects involving stakeholders, which measured and give some awards to those destinations which are more green in terms of sustainability. Measuring in the quite complex metrics, this is just one of the possible experiences, but we might start from these existing ones, which can allow different sectors to give appropriate indicators of sustainability in different fields. And this is, at the end, resumed in a score, which give stars. No? And so there are some destinations which is 3 stars, like Israel, which are 3 stars, 4 stars, 5 stars. And so at the end, and there are some destinations which have been got an award. This award is published on the guide. There are some guides which already taken some green destination getting their evaluation of the places. In this way, people. So I mean, for answering your question, sorry, the measure the sustainability is possible. Of course, it's something that there will be different metrics. We have to agree to, but in principle it's possible, and this can be taken by some independent organization connected to this movement and say this nation is better than another one. It's possible to make it.
Any other questions? So let's go to India. Then we start working on
English is very primitive and she's shy. I'm sure she's able to speak English very well. No? He doesn't recognize riesci a parlare o sei un tono? The idea was something about the circular economy, and she also proposed a concept of network of
which you have to work there.
The other one,
This is not fair.
I think sometimes.
Next one, and then meanwhile,
educate people to understand the value of resources. I represented the private company, actually the field one in the recycling business. So everything can be recycled to get to the plastic, so metals and many of metals. It's necessary to be focused on the value of the resources, because resources means problems, means opportunities, means good things, because we can speak about also about the possibility to get somebody in order to show them how the tourist base can be spread and invested in the rest of the plastic. Okay, as I told you, I represent a private company, so recycling means also business, because everything can be underlying recycling. So this is an important matter. Speaking about and underline this circular economy, because this is really a very important thing. Never has this been circular economy with a practical view, in a different way, in a sustainability approach. So we can think about things in theory, but in practical, recycling means difference. All over the world, we can have a possibility to build a really never ending network in these area. Okay, great. Yes, because the sustainable tourism means also to know, to get a direct approach, a direct experience in the recycling of the plastic process. Okay? This is very big. Because if you can do it, I understand, okay, I must know that it's really, I must respect and see that it is. This is the practical approach. Another question? You can see that any country is going to report for all. One of the problems we are in Europe, not only recently, with some kind of things regarding the scrapping of books. Several millions of books made by private life. That is on the floor. In the States, 20 years old, they have money to buy books. Europe is much of that area, and all the incorporated. Especially Italy, the first country in Europe that is the production of millions of boats. They are refined and farmed, and they are using the fruits of the marine use. But after the year, all talk about this, yes, this is my life in fact, also because we are presenting Italy since 2015, the non-profit work of the GR, which is the worldwide development international segment of assets. So our institution is worldwide organized, is focused in the graduate network that we support the so the core business is the non-profit. We're thinking about the recycling of also because okay, when we use the boats, we use plastic
at the end of life of the water must be affected. So this activity is really very interesting and worldwide business. This is our life. The reason because we rather run about 100 times a year. Yeah. Our life.
One more question.
What do you think would be the best device today to practice research that the information or, for example, utilization of the would be the most effective way to
It's about both, because theory is not clear to the practical. So theory, so educational approach in school, of course, is necessary, but in this way also, not only mental, but what right, there is many improvements in this way, because of the recycling activity, the circular economy, the recycling approach, really our life. So we must know about the things. By the way, according to me, it will be very nice, and it's together, maybe also in so somewhere else. Some trips, okay, around the city with the tourists in order to show, okay, this is the plastic, this is the process to recycle the plastic, then maybe we can solve the water, okay? But not only for the plastic, also for the other education in the school, and also some tourists also. I think that to visit the plants that recycle the iron body, the recycle difference. Yes, absolutely. That's it. There's some questions. So, shall we do
allora, io propongo un'azione concreta e per utilizzare il patto turistico propongo una forma contrattuale che è uno strumento utile e immediatamente praticabile all'interno dell'economia circolare, il concetto di this proposal made contract of network, which is a new form of contract provided by the circular economy, which is il contratto di rete permette di attivare economie di servizio o di acquisto o comunque delle economie di scala nell'ambito di una filiera produttiva o di servizio. The contract of network enables to optimize purchases and also to have savings in an economy with a different dimension, a wider dimension. So you can have states, economy states, and purchases, and optimized purchases. Sì, economico. I vantaggi economici, cioè i risparmi nella ottimizzazione dei processi, genera del valore che potrebbe essere reinvestito, quindi diventa sostenibile l'impegno economico nelle azioni green. Noi ce lo nascondiamo, ma l'economia green ha dei costi superiori rispetto alle economie tradizionali, anche in questa fase di passaggio, e quindi la sostenibilità dei processi di cambiamento possono essere sostenute attraverso networks enable savings, economic advantages that can be reinvested in environmental protection and sustainability. You know that green economy has higher costs respect to the normal. So this is a good solution because if you have this form, this type of contract, you can have savings that can be reinvested, and they enable to have an economy more environmental friendly and also with lower cost.
Okay? So, question.
Just one example of something, a concrete example of how this, per esempio, concreto, ho capito, lo comprendo, non lo parlo ma lo comprendo. Ci sono molte cose importanti che permettono di ottimizzare nell'ambito del pulimento, del pulimento degli alberghi, eccetera, l'acquisto insieme, diversi soggetti imprenditoriali che mantengono la propria identità imprenditoriale possono decidere di fare l'acquisto, affrontare l'acquisto, comunque un contratto di rete per l'uso di rifiuti attivi. Concrete example can be the cleaning of hotels. Perhaps hotels managers can decide to sign a contract and buy all cleaning stuff soaps together. They save money and then the money can be reinvested in the economy. They are also able to buy green products or just to buy together to save money. Dipende dalla psicologia dell'organizzazione, cioè se io ho una politica green negli acquisti, investirò il valore risparmiato tra il risparmio in acquisti green. Se io sono un'organizzazione di servizi, farò altri progetti, non so, il contratto di rete va benissimo nel costituire anche mercati del lavoro dedicati, cioè dedicare per esempio tutte il personale alberghiero, suddividerlo in diverse proprietà, però adesso è un aspetto tecnico della forma contrattuale che se volete poi posso spiegare. Okay? It depends on the kind of the contract you find. You can decide to reinvest the savings you have with this contract of network in buying green products, or to have professionals dedicated to more sustainability in jobs. Yes.
Thank you for this opportunity to speak 1 minute and 60 seconds about my idea.
My idea starts from several doubts. In the sense that I have a huge doubt that it's, I'm looking for a sort of an answer regarding the sustainability of the environment and how to do that better, better and better the environment. I belong to the academic side, and not from the private sector or the public sector. In this case, I speak on behalf of the university where I'm trying to develop a research project on the leadership in practice, both man-made and natural and man-made, so created by the hands of people, but also like natural, so flash floods, earthquakes, and I'm trying to study which is the leadership process in terms of chain of command and control of the processes that lead the organizations with the immediate response to the emergency. I have a background in crisis, so I can say that every crisis is a good opportunity to start a new thing in the system. So I think that I always have, I feel good with this approach because I can think that there can be always a solution. In this case, in this specific case, looking at the chain of command and control in responding to the crisis, natural and I looked at this concept regarding the importance that the idea that can people in place towards the sustainability of the environment, starting from the youngest generation. So I didn't live in culture, so I didn't believe in the awareness that needs to be educated, educated from when you are very young. So binding the concepts of angels and leadership to bring out the idea of environment angels, leaders to be, because it's actually a big leader from the very knowledge. This is a huge challenge which I didn't believe. And I'm quite happy to have the opportunity to share this idea and see whether this idea is good. To be honest, this could be also a great opportunity for me to understand the state of the art. Because I don't know, actually, if it is an exercise that you want me to do, just an overview, a general overview of what there is already in place, in order to try and implement the system instead of reviewing the system. So, thank you for listening.
Thank you for the
I'm sorry, I'm Italian. I'm not supposed to say in one
No,
minute. It's difficult.
You have questions.
The Americans have done a great job with me, but they didn't succeed. It's very interesting what you say because actually I'm active inside some specific United Nations Commissions since for the last 30 years. In principle, I deeply believe in the importance of putting in place this kind of very high level project for worldwide perspective. I think that in each country, this huge project needs to be duplicated depending on the rules and the behaviors of the country in which you do that duplicate. So, yes, this is first. Second aspect, the second topic which came out from the discussion, both the relations between science and technicians, which is very interesting and that can be also useful to implement the activity of the young in the sense that scientists can be an essential basis, starting point to implement the technician aspects for some practical projects for young people. Further, last but not least, I've been hearing from the beginning something regarding several meetings and conferences that we follow this first one. What my last wish in this sense would be that of having always a time to do the exercise of having always a general overview of what is happening, although I personally probably not participating in other exercises like this one, in order to live this time, restart a new way of rethinking the sharing of information for the policies that can be truly comprehensive. Because the lack of creating projects or giving birth to projects in some cases, what I've noticed is the lack of the general overview that gives you the opportunity of doing something to add a value and not to include the things. It is not about an exercise. So,
You have one more.
just one comment, I will simplify the very point. And to do the work to make what we have a level, I think that at one level, we provide the table passport for the children to take their responsible behavior, and that's fundamental to sustainable tourism. With a community to make responsible choices for the safety, and this is very important, and it starts, I would say, at the first younger stage, but it still goes from high to young and young to young. Really, this is great. Thank you very much for sharing because personally I didn't know. So it is a great starting point to analyze and understand better the topic. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Lulia. I'm a fellow in the environment, working at the American University of Rome in Brazil. That's my idea, the first one. The problem I started is that the level of awareness of biodiversity is usually very poor, and that includes my experience in the biodiversity area, and we are going to do our own group. The experience of biodiversity and awareness of biodiversity is very hard to do. So the goal will be to raise awareness of biodiversity in a whole sector of perspective. So we're going to involve different groups, stakeholders, with the effort to combine scientific education and cultural dissemination. When I think of stakeholders, I'm thinking mostly of high school students, so people being in touch with the school, working with the school, talking to them, lifeguards, tourism entrepreneurs, having like boats or maybe facilities on the shore, and building on the cultural capital of the people through efforts to reach science and societal awareness. I think it would be possible to raise awareness, so using people to be safe promoters of biodiversity, not to feel that change and that this sort of exploration of biodiversity very far away, but bringing it and embedding it in people's collections. I think this is also very much in line with the Marine Strategy Directive and the established Marine Strategy area. Everybody works with these values. Thanks. Yes, I think
Only one?
Good morning, everyone. I was very actually done positive, assess the impact of tourism, notify the environment with a specific focus on the built environment and land use. So I wanted to look about the possible organization of sustainability as some that before, a good equilibrium between amongst the economic, the social, and the environmental. Now, we generally think that the economic debates, so we have the tendency of our destinations, we also welcome not to be on the ground, but economic. And now we started to see some attention brought to the environmental. I think that the allowing of many activities as to consider the impact on the social aspect. Because the tourist is actually also impact on the social and society and the cultural aspect. So we not only think about names, but we think of many small villages we have in the kind of work. For example, which is the area around IT, that have become almost the whole village has become almost a hotel, pushing out the former residents. In this, the factor changes perhaps the pleasantness and the beauty of the place, because it totally transforms its work. So one means of looking at maintenance and regulating is the specific focus of the built environment and the land use which are allowed, keeping a balance for not only the economic sector and licenses given to people that the law environment as much as possible, but also giving other economic possibilities. So I would also like to think not only of the biodiversity, but also I would like to think about social and economic diversity. So perhaps there could be a diversity of the economic possibilities for the citizens living in that specific area, so that we really achieve a balance of the two areas of the city.
It looks like we have finished the onset. I didn't realize when you came the moment, you know. Usually, I thought you did. So, because usually, the common is used, the very beginning, sometimes set for to get to know it. So, after the 40 days, we're going to go through a session to get to know it. Okay? This is a good time for it.